What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromTheFrontDesk. This story's called, "The Entire Neighborhood is Blacked Out? Refund me!" I posted a few stories on here before, and just some background on myself. I work in a rather large, almost luxury-level hotel in a major city's industrial park area. So my hotel tends to be sold out during the weekdays and nearly empty on the weekends. So, of course, our rates drop massively for the third-party booking sites. However, for this one particular Friday night, that wasn't really the case. We were actually pretty close to half full, and it was all due to this one massive group that was staying with us. We had almost all of our ballrooms and meeting rooms booked up for this one group. I won't go into details on who they are, but these people are near secret society level with how many pockets they have their hands in. They are an old school organization with big money. So my managers and the sales team really wanted this entire night to be perfect for them. You can guess from the title that that night was not perfect. This group was due to start their event at 2 p.m. and keep the party going until 1 a.m. I came on shift at 2:30 p.m. As soon as I walk in the door, there is a 5-man drum line and 4 guys playing bagpipes in our restaurant, and they are not quiet. The noise from them is so loud that I'm having to scream at guests to check them in. Thankfully, most of my check-ins were more people from this group and were actually happy to see the band. I didn't share their enthusiasm, but was grateful no one was upset by it. Around 5 p.m., the band stopped playing and the dinner for the event began, which meant our entire lobby and restaurant went from a mass parade of people and noise to dead silence. It was ghost town level quiet. I loved it. I managed to get the last of my check-ins taken care of, some for the big group, and some were third-party stays, and even helped a small family gathering that was hosting a little girl's birthday party. Nothing big, just her parents, and some friends for a pool and pizza party. We don't allow food and drink in the pool area, so I let the family use one of the empty meeting rooms that the massive group didn't book. They were grateful and tipped me and the other 2 staff members who helped them out a nice $10 each. The massive group's dinner ended at around 7 p.m. and they consumed our bar and restaurant again. The lobby was bursting with people in fancy dresses, expensive tuxes, and lots of red fez hats. I'm not kidding. They are that kind of old school organization. By 9 p.m., they had gone from loud to loud and drunk. My head was beginning to hurt, and I asked our engineer to watch the desk while I ran away to the restroom. I decided to use the restrooms in the pool area, so I had an excuse to check on the pool party people. They had already gone to their rooms, and another family was using the pool area now. I picked up some towels that had been thrown about and mopped up a few puddles, then headed on to the restrooms. At 9:20 p.m., I just finished washing my hands and go to dry them when the lights go out. I first thought that the lights were set to a motion sensor and I just stood still for too long. So I wave my arms about as I walk to the door and the lights don't come on. I open the restroom as the family in the pool starts saying, "It's okay, the power will come back on." I panic. I whip out my phone and turn on the flashlight. I walk to the pool area and see the parents and their kid in the water still. I ask if everyone is okay and they say they're fine. I ask them to get out of the water and come to me so that I can lead them out into the room. I explain that until the power comes back on, we need to shut down the pool area. They understood and I shined the light on a clear path and walked them out to the stairwells. Thankfully, they were staying on the 3rd floor, and our emergency power was working to light the stairwells. I met up with the other staff members and the manager on duty, and we discussed what was going on. We thought that the massive group must have blown a fuse, and our engineer was already checking on it. Turns out, the entire neighborhood was dark, and no one knew why. The group was asking what was going on, but most of them were just drunk and confused, not scared or upset. Our emergency lights kept a good portion of the restaurant and bar area lit up, while my half of the lobby was dark, except for some candles and flashlights to light the path to the elevators and stairs. Elevators later came on due to emergency power, and our phones as well as one computer at my desk was working. After the initial curiosity wore off, the entire group was laughing that they party so hard, they shut the entire neighborhood down. They were also happy that our bar and restaurant were still open and serving, despite the now limited options. Guests were calling from their rooms, asking what was going on, and after ensuring that they weren't hurt in their rooms, I just explained that we were working on it and the power would return shortly. That answer wasn't enough for this one entitled girl.
So when is the power coming back on?
We are waiting to hear back from the power company at this time. I can give you a call back and let you know once we have an answer if you'd like.
Well, is the pool closed?
Yes, miss. We have to shut down the pool and fitness area until the power can be restored. It's not safe to be in there at this time.
This is bullcrap. I want a full refund right now.
Miss, I understand you're upset and do apologize for the inconvenience. However, we are not able to make that decision at this time.
You're not refunding me? I paid a lot of money to stay here. Either open the pool or give me back my money.
Miss, I cannot do that at this time.
I'm sending my boyfriend down there to talk to you. This is unbelievable. He's gonna kick your ass, you stupid beach.
She ended the call and I just rolled my eyes. I remembered checking the two of them in. They were staying on a super cheap third-party rate and weren't a part of the massive group or the pool party. I pulled up their reservation and quickly wrote down the information needed to hand off to the manager on duty in case things did get ugly. While doing so, the power company called us with an automated message saying they were working on it. The engineer also stopped by and told me he saw an update on the power company's website that stated we may get power back around 11:15 p.m. Seconds after the engineer walked off, the boyfriend came down to the desk and was running sideways to me and crashed into my desk, almost knocking a lit candle over on me. He was clearly drunk.
Hey, my girlfriend just called down. Can I get your manager's info?
Sure, here's my general manager's business card with my name and title written on the back. I'm the front office supervisor here.
Yeah, cool, thanks. Crazy about the power. Do you know what's going on?
Actually, after speaking with your girlfriend, the power company called us and informed us that they are working on it. We have the estimate that power will be back on around 11:15 p.m.
Cool. Hey, sorry for my girlfriend. She paid and is kind of freaking out on it. But I mean, we did pay a lot.
The boyfriend then looked around at the people at the bar and restaurant and realized that there was a large fancy party happening over there.
Oh, snap. Fancy threads. How much did they pay to stay here?
A little more than twice what you did. Boyfriend's eyes go wide.
Whoa, they must be wanting their money back too then, huh? I mean, we can't be the only ones asking for a refund, right?
I smile. No, just you. Boyfriend looking confused.
What? They spent so much though.
Me, loving this. Oh, that's nothing. Our weekday rates are usually 4 times what you paid. Boyfriend's jaw on the floor.
Dude.
I was 100% serious and the guy realized it. He then turned and walked into the crowd of people at the restaurant. Sometime later, his girlfriend came down off the elevator looking for him and gave me dagger stares as she stomped into the crowd to find him. I didn't pay much mind to her and went back to what I was doing. At 10:30 p.m., our power came back on, and at around 11 p.m., and started unloading on me about how everyone was loving the power outage except this one young couple who she and her staff never served, but were clearly wasted and tried to order drinks. She turned them away because the guy was in a t-shirt and swim trunks while the girl was wearing a bikini with a tank top over it. Our restaurant does have a dress code, so does the bar. You can't be dressed like that and expect to be served. I laughed and told her about the angry phone call I got from the bikini girl wanting a refund. The bartender gaped and then told me she overheard them arguing after she turned them away from the bar. The girlfriend tried to argue with my bartender about being turned away, and the boyfriend went pale and dragged her away when he realized they were being stared at and laughed at by all the people in the fancy threads. My bartender told me their argument was more the boyfriend begging to either go back to the room or go home. The girlfriend was fuming and wanted her refund. The boyfriend offered to pay her back and she accused him of being embarrassed of her. He actually nodded and said, "Yes!" loudly in her face. She shoved him and ran off angrily. They must have made up later on because before I left, I saw them playing around in the pool. After hours, I told my security guy to just leave it be for an hour, but to keep an eye on them. I got told later that they just went to their room a little while after I left, tried to do a late checkout and were denied, trashed the hotel room, and did call my general manager wanting a refund. My general manager heard the story from me and just shrugged it off. and let me take the phone call explaining that not only was her request denied, but due to her behavior on property, she isn't welcome back. I love my job. Honestly, this kind of thing happens a lot, not the whole secret society power outage and stuff like that. I'm talking about the people that pay the lowest rates are often, very like that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get your money's worth, but, I feel like a degree of understanding has to come with buying a hotel room. And I understand that usually when people wait for these deals and buy these hotel rooms at a lower rate, they're probably lower income, and so, they're gonna want the better bang for their buck. But you gotta realize there's a way to express your displeasure with the service you're receiving and not be a jerk about it. Because in my experience, the people that pay lower rates are usually more temperamental. People who pay average rates, they're more understanding usually. And the people that pay higher rates, they were pretty nice too, actually. So basically, if they're paying like a super low third-party rate, oh gosh, they're usually gonna be really mean to you. Unless they're with corporate lodging, in which case they don't pay, they're just there to work and that we bill a company. And those corporate lodging guys are usually super chill, and I made some buds. This story's called Some Guests Defy Common Sense. I don't know why, but it seems like the craziest things tend to happen on Thursday nights. To make matters worse, my security guy doesn't work most Thursdays for some reason. Thankfully, I can generally handle crazies by myself, but last night was something else. Early on in the morning, a new reservation showed up in my arrivals. A little while later, a girl walked in to check in along with whom I would assume was her boyfriend. I get her credit card information, check her in, and it seemed to be going how it should until after I hand her key cards.
Can you escort me to my room?
I was a bit flustered by the request, but I still kept my customer service smile. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to leave the front desk. Sorry about that. It was an odd request. Nobody has asked me that before. Heck, our rooms are ridiculously easy to find, too. Just keep on walking down the hall until you find it. No turns, with room 300 to 325 one way and 326 to 350 the other way. Still, I thought nothing of it and just continued on with my night. The girl and her boyfriend left for a little bit and then came back. I just did what I usually did. Watched YouTube, looked at stuff on Reddit, and occasionally patrolled the first floor of the hotel since my security guy wasn't there. Then the lady and her boyfriend showed up again. She walked up to the front desk and asked for another keycard since she accidentally left hers back in her room. I thought, no biggie, and assured her that it happened all the time. Then I gave her the card, expecting her and her boy toy to leave, but she didn't. She argued with her boyfriend a bit, telling him to just go get his stuff out of the car, saying it was unlocked. This happened several times. She then started talking to somebody on the phone until she started arguing with them while wandering the lobby, slowly getting louder to the point where I was tempted to tell her to quiet down. I was actually getting pretty annoyed at that point. Boyfriend was just kind of following her around while she argued with whoever it was on the phone. Then she did something so unexpected, so stupid, and so aggravating, I was just gobsmacked that anybody would even consider such a thing. While by the sundry shop, she, out of nowhere, just knocked off the metal lid for the trash can over there, sending it flying across the floor toward the front desk. I was in shock, but I was also angry. So I picked up the lid, cutting my thumb in the process, and tried to put it back together and put it back on the trash can. While I did so, I told the girl off. I was absolutely ticked. You need to leave right now.
But I have a room here.
I know, but you need to at least leave the lobby. You can't just throw stuff around. Finally, the girl and her quiet boyfriend walked down the hall. I glanced over there after washing the blood off my thumb and saw what was going on. The girl and her boyfriend were by the vending machine, and the lady had the gall to have knocked down a couple of plants that were low to the ground across from it. At that, I started walking towards them, and as soon as they saw me coming, they scurried out the side door. Thankfully, nothing was broken, so I just put the two small plants back in their holder place, careful to wipe off any blood. I also went over and finally found a band-aid to cover up my bleeding thumb. I would have done so earlier, but I was so angry and trying to keep an eye on those annoying guests. Well, the girl was annoying at least. I checked outside and they were arguing with another guest from their car. I don't know how somebody could be so belligerent. The other guest came in and the car drove off. He assured me that they were gone, thankfully. Just to make sure, I performed the petty task of deactivating the girl's keycard. I was also prepared to tell the girl that they were not allowed back into the hotel after her little stunts. After that, I am happy to say I never heard anything from them. I didn't check them out or anything, and judging from the log, apparently they were checked out shortly after I clocked out, which makes me wonder if the girl who came in after me just went ahead and checked them out. The only other thing I heard about them, though, was from a long-term stay who remarked that he heard her arguing on the phone outside and that apparently she was hitting herself. It didn't make much sense, but not much about my interactions with her did. For instance, back at the beginning, she asked me to escort her to her room. Why? Did she plan on somebody sneaking behind the desk and robbing it or something? Not to mention, the random acts of violence against inanimate objects while arguing on the phone was something that made absolutely no sense. Hopefully, I never see that girl again. According to her reservation, she lived on the other side of the country. I hope she went back there and stayed there. How are people okay with acting like that in public? What the heck? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.